Hello, Receptive Radio community. I'm so excited today. Irina Portnova is with us, and she is the creator, the manifester of a summit that is taking place in June, this coming up in a few days. And I'm so happy to have her here because she, like me, is come out of corporate. She used to be an accountant as well, and she has a great story around manifesting prosperity and abundance and aligning with your purpose. And I'm so happy to have you here, Irina.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And I just had to mention that I'm so privileged to be on your show, as well as for you to be the speaker on this amazing event. So, for everybody who is tuning in and listening to this conversation, if you love Jennifer, you gotta hear her interview because it was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So let's talk about prosperity. Let's talk about abundance. Let's talk about making money doing your purpose, because
Mhm.
I want to make money doing my purpose. You want to make money doing your purpose. People in corporate who might be feeling like they want to transition into being entrepreneurs, they want to know that they can do it. So let's
Mhm.
talk about the desire to be financially free and prosperous.
Oh my
What
God,
do you
such a
think?
powerful question. What I wanted to start my story is there was that deep calling inside of me, that feeling of longing that was already for many, many years. As much as I was working in the corporate, there was always that voice inside of me telling me, you want to have your own business. But then again, I had to just disconnect with that voice, because when I was thinking about what exactly am I going to do, and then I was coming to everything what a lot of people would do, right? They would look at their bank account, they would look at their profession, education, and then they would make the decision what they can or cannot. So at that moment, I was thinking, okay, I have my accounting degree, I have my experience. All I can do is to open my own accounting services company. But as soon as I was thinking about it, I was just, getting constricted, because that was not something that my heart was singing to, right? So I was just shutting this voice down, and it was getting louder and louder. And I remember my first test of manifestation was in October 2019, when I started to manifest with the numbers. And I remember I wrote on a piece of paper to have my fulfilling business that I'm running successfully. And then I put like the steps. What are the steps that would show that I'm on the right track? And one of the steps was I'm winning a scratch off ticket. And then I was like, check. Then I was like, receiving the compliment for amazing job that I'm doing. Check, right? So basically, each time I was checking these boxes, I realized, yes, things are really showing up and unfolding for me. But again, I did not know what exactly am I going to do. That was back in October 2019. And then in March 2020, pandemic hit. And that's when I lost my corporate job. And that was the time when I started to ask myself more, like, what am I there to do? I knew that there were no jobs to apply. It wasn't as simple as updating the resume and just run with that and have another job. So I started to come more and more to that thought that there is something I want to do with my life. And that feeling of kind of, roller coaster mood, where I was like up and down, because I wanted to do something, but I knew I couldn't. And just one morning, I woke up with that decision that I want to have my own business. That's it. It's enough for me to rely on circumstances. There is a power inside of me, like unconsciously. I was just tapping into that without knowing all the steps, but that decision was something that started the entire process. So I
I just
made a
want to
choice.
ask the
Mhm.
audience before you go on, have you had that type of experience as well, where you're asking yourself questions and tapping into, at least you get a few answers. You don't know all of the answers, but the answer is, I want to run my own business. Like, who has had that who knows that about
Mhm.
themselves right now? Maybe you're out there and you're looking for your purpose. Do you want to run
Mhm.
your own business? Is that a question you've been asking yourself? Put a yes or a no or a story in the comments for us. Keep going,
Mhm.
keep going. This is great. So talk more about the tapping in that
Mhm.
you're talking about.
Right. So basically what happens next, I just, like had this inspiration when we are doing something that is our heart calling or our soul calling, right? We feel it in our energy because we became so light, we became so happy. So that voice in me was saying, oh my God, this is amazing idea. Just look at you. You're going to work for yourself. You're going to have your own schedule. Nobody is going to run your life. That voice was there like for a couple of minutes. And then the other voice started to rising up. And I am sure we all have these two voices, right? Whoever is
Yes.
just resonating
Who
right
has
now.
these two voices? We even
Right,
know what
right.
they say before you're going to say.
Absolutely. And that second voice was telling me, really? What do you think you are doing? Look at everybody around. People are shutting down their businesses. Are you out of your mind and you're going to open your own business? And besides, what are you going to do? What are you good at? But let me tell you, that voice of love that wanted something more out of life actually won that time. And I was
Good.
calling my girlfriend and I was telling her, you know what? I have this crazy idea. I want to run my own business, but I don't even know where to apply myself. And she said, Irina, you are so good with people. People just come to you, you talk to them, you give them advice. Why don't you start looking in something in that area? And that actually opened the door for me to start like pondering, right? Again, when we start being curious, then we start tapping more into what exactly do I want with my life. And the more questions we ask, the quality of the questions that we are asking is going to determine the quality of the answers that we are receiving. And that's exactly what was happening in my life. So I started to ask myself and I kept myself just open for the possibilities. And a few months later, my daughter, who was in high school, comes to me and tell me, Mom, hire me the therapist because I can't just study online. And I didn't know any therapist, so we reached out to our dance teacher. And the dance teacher said, you know what? She doesn't need the therapist. I have this amazing girl. She's a life coach. And that was the first time in my life that I heard the word of life coach. I just went online. I was like, who are these people? So I went online and I started to Google and I connected instantly. I was like, this is me. And
Wow.
everything started from that, right? Not only I hired this life coach for my daughter, they did amazing together, but I also went on and got my certification in life coaching. And let me tell you, it was one of the most important moments in my life. When I was receiving that certification, I was extremely happy knowing that now I'm doing exactly what I meant to do. And from that on, the doors started to open again. A lot of times we just get scared. How, right? That moment of how we are going to do it is
Yeah.
something that blocks everything
Yeah.
for us to open up.
Let's ask the audience if you've ever been scared, like you know what to do, but you don't know how to do it. Have you been scared of the
Mm-hmm.
next step? Like, how do I do it? And let us
Mm-hmm.
know, yes or no. Irina, so what happened there? The how.
Mm-hmm.
When the how started coming in, why didn't you get scared or did you get scared? What did you do?
Oh my God, this is a perfect question. You know what? I realized that if I want to do something different, I want to have the mentor and the coach because I want to learn from somebody who already has what I want to have, right? So again, it's not about listening to your relatives. It's not about listening to your friends. Somebody who never walked that path cannot actually give you the right advice
Totally.
because these people are not there. And let me tell you, with my strong personality, if somebody is there to be wise and tell me, Irina, are you out of your mind? What are you doing? I'm just going to pause and say, excuse me, are you where I am heading? And if you are not where I'm heading, you are not here to give me any advice.
I love that you just said that, the strong personality. because I have a strong personality as
Mm-hmm.
well, and it could be some people have called me headstrong or you know, you're controlling or whatever, but it's more
Mm-hmm.
being in control of yourself
Mm-hmm.
and also knowing what you want. And another way that I've also is like when people have told me no, because I had lots, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm full of great ideas. And like
Mm-hmm.
I've always been that type of person, problem solver, um, gifted at guiding. But people don't always want to hear your guidance, right? They don't always want
Absolutely.
to hear the way because it doesn't align with them being comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll argue with you. And I love that you just said, "Are you heading where I'm heading?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use that one.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Totally. This
Yeah.
is like the best way to shut up everybody who is there to, you know what? A lot of times people give opinions, but they can't even manage their own life. Like,
Mhm.
a lot of times I just say, you know what? First, take care of you and what's going on in your life. Like, take care of your chaos before just butting in and giving everybody else advice, right? And this is just for everybody who's tuning in and like sitting in that zone was saying, oh my god, what everybody else is going to think of me. They're going to think that I'm crazy. And again, I've been into this space. Yes, many people think that I'm crazy, but does it stop me? Absolutely not, because there are so many people who are like-minded people who want more out of life, who want to experience the life to the fullest, and this is your crowd of people.
Yeah. I always say you want to hang around people who are more powerful than you. And that's what you're saying. We want to work with coaches and mentors
Mhm.
who have already carved the path and they have what we want. And I've always been hanging out with more powerful people because that's how you become more powerful.
Absolutely. Yes, you're learning from the best.
Hmm.
So that was exactly my pivot, right? When you are saying, how did I figure out how? I did not have to figure out how, because all I did, I just made a decision to invest in my mentor, who was already that coach, successful coach that I want to be.
Hmm.
And I just trust the process, right? Because again, a lot of times people want the instant results. That's why the majority of population put in themselves the pill, because they want the easy treatment without realizing that by treating one thing, they are damaging something else in their body, right? So we know that good things take time. It doesn't matter whether this is business, it doesn't matter whether this is relationship, it doesn't matter whether this is health, right? Once you understand that patience is the virtue, and once you understand to trust the process, because we cannot receive what we are not believing in. And
Yeah.
how could you not believe in if you go back to your life and start connecting the dots? There were a lot of instances in everybody's life when people wanted to do something, they did not know how to do it, but they still went out, did it, and they succeeded. So there are a lot of examples like that. So the more we bring these past stories rather than saying to ourselves why I can't be good enough, the more we connect with the success, the more we are bringing that success forward for ourselves. And again, it's very
Hmm.
important to be connected with like minded people. It's very important to know what you are doing. And the only way for you to know what you are doing is to be under the right training that is going to create the results.
Yeah. And there's other things I would say. You want to be keeping yourself healthy. You want to be keeping
Mm-hmm.
yourself clean and sober. You don't want to be interfering with yourself as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you step onto the path, your path, and that one that feels good, like the one that you said, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that one that lights me up, and that other voice comes up, there's when you're trying to do it all by yourself, it's very easy to fall into the temptation of that other voice. But when you work with
Absolutely.
a guide or a mentor or a coach
Mm-hmm.
or have Merlin around a lot, he
Totally.
yeah, you have somebody who's keep helping you to stay on your course because we do get scared. We have fears come up. Being an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur is personal transformational work. Like, it's
Absolutely.
spiritual work. I, well, we both are accountants here. When we've looked at people's books, we've seen the patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can see what they're doing in their life transmitting to their financial statements and
Totally.
vice versa, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
the entrepreneur's personal life and professional life are totally connected.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're
Absolutely.
making big changes, you having support
Mm-hmm.
is critical. It's critical.
It is because can I just
Yeah,
quickly
go
add
ahead.
something, Jennifer? It just, like I want people to connect because a lot of times people think, okay, they are missing that tangible factor, right? Because again, when we train our brain muscle, it's different as we are training our body muscle. Because if we go to the gym and we exercise, we can see the results. But with the mind, it's sort of like we are pushing, we are doing all this work, where is the result, right? And I always say, hey, even going to the gym, you have to go at least consistently 3 to 6 months in order to start seeing something, right? Same thing here. We train our brain muscle the same way as we are training our body. And it's
Yes.
the same like any skill that you are learning, it's going to take time, whether you are learning to play the new instrument or learning to speak another language. It's not going to happen instantaneously, even though you pay a lot of money for that, right? Money cannot make you be skillful unless you go through that experience, unless you take the classes, and unless you start really understanding how everything falls into place. Same thing with this work. The more we work on ourselves, the more we are going to see the results of it.
Yes. Yes. It's so true. And I mean, I've been a meditator and a daily practice person for 30 years. And I am so grateful nowadays, though, that I started that 30 years ago
Mm-hmm.
because I am an expert now and I can get into the zone like ASAP and I can guide people. But if I never started and if I never stayed consistent, I would not be here right now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
in order to become good at something, you have to repeat. You have to
Absolutely.
repeat it. You have to repeat it. And
Mm-hmm.
I come from the horse training world.
Mm-hmm.
We can't win races unless we train the horse, we jog the horses, we train the horses every
Mm-hmm.
day and every week. Like,
Absolutely.
and it is a mental, like, you have to believe that you can win too. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've had drivers get on my horse or I've seen other horses get on. If you don't believe that horse is going to win, you're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the best horse, but if you don't believe that you're going to win, you're not going to win. It's all the mind is exactly connected to the body. I like to think of the horse and the driver, as the body, the mind, the essence, the soul.
Mm-hmm.
The heart
Mm-hmm.
is this belief, right? Like,
Right. Absolutely.
yeah,
You know what, Jennifer? I think what people are missing, a lot of people do not understand the energy and
yeah,
do not make the correlation between our thoughts, between our emotions, our actions, and the results that everything is producing, right? So once we tap into understanding that everything is energy, that we are energetic beings, and if we take out our bones, if we take out our skin, then we'll see all the pure energy, and that energy is creative. So
yeah,
each time we are creating, and a lot of times people are creating unconsciously from fear, from lack, from self-doubt, and you'll see more of it showing up in your life. But once we become conscious of the process of creation, and we know that we can actually manage our mind, and we can pause at any moment and just check with ourselves and saying, wait a second, why do I feel that stress in my body? Why do I feel anxious, right? And then connect that to what exactly were you thinking in the moment that caused this physiology and feeling of something not very good, not your normal state, right? You know that your thoughts are going to create the feelings and the reality that you are experiencing. So once we understand that everything is making sense, then we start consciously checking our thoughts
Yeah.
and we want to stay more calm and connected, because I always say, okay, just because something did not work out and for people to get frustrated, to scream and do, is it going to resolve the issue? No, it's
Mhm.
not. But again, all these negative emotions are going to create something more of negative to worry about. So once we become aware of it, we just consciously stop that conversation in our head. We consciously move to something better, what we want to experience, stay more relaxed. And that's why we start attracting better events into our life.
Yes, it is that simple, but it does take being conscious and
Practice. Yes.
noticing, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
practice. One time
Mm-hmm.
is not enough. You have to do it
Mm-hmm.
consistently. A
Yep.
and then all of a sudden, you'll wake up one day and you're not having those negative thoughts. They're not coming
Mm-hmm.
in anymore because you've rewired your program. I
Absolutely.
You have this event coming up, that is directly related to what we're talking about. I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking at it. Other people, there's how many speakers are speaking at it? I'm just gonna put the name on the
28.
banner here. So
28. Yes.
28 speakers in 14 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
tell us a bit about this. It's a live masterclass series. So how does it work? How do people
Yes.
show up for
Thank
it?
you so much for the question. First of
Yeah.
all, anybody who is wondering how can we attract more money, this is a perfect event to tune in, right? Because we are talking about non-conventional ways to tap into the abundance. Because a lot of times people just do not have the awareness. And if you do not have the awareness, you cannot create something you do not know how. And the way that this event is designed, you do not have to be somewhere at the specific time, at the specific place. All you have to do is to register. And starting June 8th, you start receiving 2 interviews a day in your inbox every morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The interviews are going to arrive, and you have the full 24 hours to watch these 2 speakers, which is less than an hour a day, where you can watch their interviews, you can see their bios, you can claim their free gifts. And the gifts itself, it's already over $5,000 in value. So there is so much to gain and nothing to lose for you. And I truly encourage everybody to check it out, to register and see what you are going to pick up, because one event like that, one interview that you are going to hear might completely change the trajectory of your life, because that's where the shift of our mind happens, and that's how we put ourselves on a different path. So I truly recommend everybody to check it out, because a lot of times people are complaining, but if people just complain but do not take any action, and your action would be just to make that decision and say to yourself, okay, let me just check it out, let me see. If it's not for me, it's not for me. Nobody is pushing anybody, but we invite you just to open your mind for the possibility,
Yeah.
because the possibilities are limitless. And
Yeah.
it's up to us to decide to join something. It's up to us to decide to connect with somebody, to connect with the speaker that we liked at the end, and just connect with the community that can take you and help you to thrive, not just
Yeah.
survive.
And it's this other thing about getting you out of your comfort zone. So if you're used
Mhm,
to hanging out in one area, when you do something like this and you register for an event, as soon as you register, it's saying yes to a shift.
mhm.
It's saying yes to a shift. And even if you only watch one interview,
Totally.
like no one's saying you have to watch all 14 days and all of that type
Mhm,
of stuff, but saying yes to the title of the event, which I'm going to put up again because I think is a powerful title: Break Free,
mhm,
Elevate Your Money Mindset, and Call in Overflow. Like just that thought, that affirmation,
mhm,
you know,
mhm.
I want to elevate. I'm a money magnet. Those things, just deciding that you are ready for that change. Every time similar to you, in 2012, when I decided to do my year-long intensive shamanic training,
Mhm,
on the plane going there, and there was stuff going on and there was chaos, I just knew that this was my life's path.
mhm,
Like, And when I registered, I knew that. And it started, as soon as you register for something, it starts putting the healing process in place. It starts changing the frequency. It starts shifting things. And that's what
Absolutely.
you've given everybody with this opportunity, with this summit.
Yes, I just wanted to point out that what we focus on is going to expand, right? So, what we put our attention on, the universe treats as our intention. So, if you intend to break free and really create that overflow of abundance and income in cash and tap to that, this is the perfect place for you to start something like that.
Yes. Yes. So thank you so much, Irina, for creating that summit. And I'll just say, I just want to say one more thing about manifesting. I ended up speaking at the event because I ended up in a breakout room with Irina and she asked
Mhm.
me to come. And all I did is I put out with my black cattail, I just said, I want to get some more speaking gigs this month.
Mhm.
And then, like,
Mhm.
within 24 hours, I had 2 speaking gigs that I did not apply for. They came to me and
Right.
asked me to come. So
Mhm.
it is intention. It is aligning with those thoughts. It does happen
Mhm.
that quickly too.
Right. And again, it's like manifestation is always happening, right? But a lot of times we are manifesting not the things that we want because we constantly worry about something. We
Mhm.
worry about our bank account. We worry about our partner. We worry about our health. The more we worry, the more we create the events to worry about. So this is my invitation: become more conscious in what you are creating, because we are creating every minute, every moment of our life.
I love it. We are creating every minute, every moment of our life. Let's remember
Mhm.
that. We are the creators. And that's the thing is we forget. We forget,
Totally. Yes.
especially when we're
Mhm.
worried. So I'm
Mhm.
so grateful that you came on today, and I'm so excited. We're starting live interviews and Facebook group with all the speakers. I'm excited to be involved with this all of June. It sounds so much fun, and it's just a little bit different than your regular summit, so that makes it even more.
Mhm. Yes, and thank you so much for inviting me and just sharing with everybody that, again, abundance is always there, but it's up to us, right? Because you can pay for the trainings, but if you are not doing anything in these trainings, they are not going to help you. So basically, unless we help ourselves, we can guide people, we can show people, but it's up to the people to actually decide that this is what they want to do and practice.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Receptive Radio community. Please remember, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. I'm putting all the links in the comments, and come to the event. Come to the event. We'd love to see you there.
Thank you
Have a
so
good day.
much.
You're welcome.